Zhaire Smith is back in the NBA, and this story that Zhaire Smith is having, or what he told to HoopsHype, shout out HoopsHype for this information, but our man Zhaire Smith fell out of the NBA, and his story is incredible, and he's the type of person that you hope makes it back, hopes he achieves the NBA comeback. He's still young, dumb, full of cum, like Mr. John C. McGinley says in the great movie of Point Break. So if you guys want to help support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. But let's get right into this report, and let's give credit to our man who wrote this article, Sam Yip of HoopsHype. Now, Zhaire Smith is probably best remembered to be the guy that the Philadelphia 76ers traded Mikal Bridges for. And this was a guy who went to Texas Tech, and he was basically the best player, or like one of the best players. Him and Jared Culliver were like the two best players on that Texas Tech team that went on a deep, basically they almost won the championship, and they lost it to Virginia. And this guy has been out of the NBA for what, 2 years now, and he's bounced around between the several teams. He played for the Thunder Summer League squad in July, and then got an Exhibit 10 deal with the Cavs, which means he's unless he's an absolute stud in training camp, he's probably going to be on the G League team. But he sat down with HoopsHype, and he told them about his life-threatening allergic attack. Yes, he had an allergic reaction his rookie season, his long journey back, and this is what he said, that what he wants to do is come out here and play hard and compete and just be coachable, which I love to hear that. And he says he's been out of the league for 2 years, and how does that affect him mentally? And he says that right now he thanks God for everything, and that he's just, taking it slow and just putting his effort and his mind into everything that he can, and cherishing every moment that he has. And parts of his game that he says he's improved, that he says his three-point shot, his shooting in general has improved. And I've always said this, and one of my buddies tried to tell me defense was more coachable than shooting, and I told him, no, dude, shooting's more coachable than defense. And we asked probably 15 execs at Summer League, just halfway through our conversation. I'll be like, look, we're in a debate right now, and I won that because shooting, every exec agreed. So supposedly Zhaire Smith started working on his shooting form when he had that allergic reaction, because he was not a good shooter and when he was weak, but he's been able to regain his muscle, and he's been able to shoot. So he talked about the food allergy he had in Philadelphia, and it was so bad it was life-threatening. So he had Thai chicken, Thai chicken. He ate that, and the first symptoms he had were that his lips started to swell. Then he drove home, and then he started to brush his teeth for about 10 minutes, and then he started having hives. And then once that happened, he had someone try to go give him Benadryl. But once he took the Benadryl, he started to feel his toes sweat, and he had to call 911. And everything on his body was on fire. So they came with, the ambulance, and it took almost a month and a half for him to recover. In that month and a half, he was hospitalized for a month and a half because of an allergic reaction to Thai chicken, which caused him to lose 60 pounds. His body deteriorated. He had to be fed through a feeding tube, had wires all through his body. And, that's incredible. And he says that experience was a life-changing experience, gave him different perspective, really allowed him to learn how to cherish everything in his life. And that he said he had suffered a foot injury right before the allergic reaction episode, and all of that had just, compartmentalized into and culminated into something that he mentally was not ready for. And that now he says he's not taking anything for granted anymore, and that when he steps on the court, he's going 110%. And during the hospital, he had Markelle Fultz, Brett Brown, Norvell Pele, Joel Embiid. They all reached out. But over the years, one of the only players he's kept in contact with is Tyler Lashbrook. And I'm definitely curious to hear all of your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think? It's been 5 years since he's been drafted, and he says that he was basically hurt every single year, and that he's excited that he played really well for the Thunder Summer League, and that he's only focused on the NBA right now, and that he's not trying to play anywhere else. And it's crazy. So if you guys want to see more of this GQ article, also talking about all this stuff, and I'll link the HoopsHype article down below in the comment section. But definitely give it a good read. It's a really cool story, and it's kind of one of those stories where when you read it, you're hoping that he makes it back, and that this is a redemption story. And a guy who was a top lottery pick who will hopefully be back in the NBA by the end of next season. You know, maybe he has to spend a little time in the G, okay, but maybe by the end, he's back in it. But I want to hear your thoughts.